Welcome, everyone. Now that I have finished watching my very first anime, Spirited Away, have I become a lifelong fan, or maybe anime is just not for me? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about my very first experience into the anime world. The reason I picked Spirited Away as my jumping off point into anime was that I had seen that it was the second highest grossing anime of all time. It had really high rating scores, and to be honest, it really was accessible to me on HBO streaming very easily. So that's probably the biggest reason why I chose it. I really enjoyed this film a lot, but that doesn't necessarily mean that anime is for me. I'm going to start off with some things that I really liked. Overall, I thought the story was well done. It had a good moral plot. The characters were developed really well from the beginning to the end. I thought Chihiro's story arc was extremely well done and really had me invested into her as a character. I will admit there were some parts that just seemed a bit odd to me in this story, but I believe that was because I don't fully understand the culture entirely. And that's something that can change as I learn and as I grow as a person. I really like the animation in the film. I saw that the film was done in the 2000-2001 era and that it was hand drawn. And some of the things that stuck out to me about the animation was the attention to detail that it had. And that made it feel more real to me than a typical American animation. And the best example, or at least one example that I can give of this, is when Chihiro was walking with her mom. And because her mom walks much faster than she does, Chihiro kept falling behind and had to run and catch back up to her mom, only to continue to fall back again and again because she just couldn't keep up. And this is something that may seem kind of insignificant to many people out there, but this portrays how it probably would play out in real life. So it's things like this that really stood out to me, and this made me think that things were done really well and how much thought went into the details of this movie, which is why I think I really like this animation, because it really just had a lot of attention to detail. I also thought that the musical score for this film was done extremely well. I love the musical score. It drew me in. It added to the elements of emotion that were taking place on the screen. I really, really liked it. I thought it was done fantastic. But in light of all the good things, there were definitely some things that were hinted at that kind of left me a bit confused. And one of the things that had me a bit on the fence was that there may be some kind of action sequences in this movie, but they're never really fully materialized. And there were some hints of magic, but it very rarely was used. And so it kind of had me a bit confused a little bit and a little bit like, well, why is it in here? And it wasn't something that I thought was a negative for this movie, but I don't think it was a positive either. But that being said, there were definitely some things that had me really confused and left me scratching my head a bit. Now, no film is perfect and all have some negative things. And I hate to even really call these things that I have negative, because they could possibly be explained through the culture that I'm just missing out on because I don't fully understand. To me, there seemed to be some holes in the context of the story, of who all these people and characters were and where did they come from. So for someone like me, it left me a bit confused. If I had someone there to explain things to me, when I had a question, that would have helped out a lot. Like, who's Yubaba and why is she the one in charge? And why is she estranged from her sister Zanita? Also, why does she fly away at the end of the night? Why is Haku a dragon sometimes? These things aren't explicitly explained in the film, but they probably have answers that I just don't know about. But none of this had me more confused than one character that made me wonder why they were even in the film at all. This character was a central part of the story for most of the film, yet I felt like this character and the story were not necessarily needed in this film. I wouldn't have missed out on much of the story being told if it was just left out. and that character is No-Face. It was never really explained who No-Face was, or why he was there, or why he was drawn to help Chihiro. It's not that the character was bad. The character was perfectly fine, and I did enjoy the character and how he took place in the movie. It just felt to me that No-Face didn't need to be there to advance the overall plot of this movie. There were times he was in it and he advanced smaller plot points in the movie, and that was great, but I didn't feel that he needed to be as central of a character because he didn't, advance the overall plot of this movie and didn't need to be so central to it. But again, there could be some cultural things that I'm just missing out on that would help explain this character and put these things into a better perspective for me. But did these things keep me from becoming an anime fan? I will say the jury is still out on that. As much as I really enjoyed this film, it's possible this film wasn't a good entry point for me into the anime world. I will say, though, for sure, that it didn't push me away, and I will definitely look to watch another anime or 2 or 3. Just let me know down in the comments, what anime movies or shows do you think I should watch that will help me get hooked into the anime world for good? Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video today. And until next time, everyone, see ya.